I think it is anyway. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yep, yep. Yeah? Okay. Hey folks, welcome to, well, you're going to be saying welcome to Wednesday if you're out all the way out there in the east, and welcome to Tuesday evening. Hope everybody's having a good week, and hope you all enjoyed the show on Saturday from Manchester. What a fantastic time we had, especially with that minty fresh Etihad Dreamliner, which was absolutely fantastic to look at and see, and be live with all you great people there as well. Over 1 million views across all our channels. Once again, another blockbuster for Big Jet TV. So onwards and upwards, really, to be perfectly honest with you. In the news, just gathered a few little pieces of news at the moment. Sometimes we see them over the top of us. Of course, we never see them. I don't think we've seen them at Gatwick, because I don't think they go to Gatwick, but Wizz Air, good news from the crews at Wizz Air. The airline achieved huge growth in the UK in 2019. Low-cost carrier saw a total number of passengers jump by 20% year on year, which is great, and that's from 2018, of course. They've expanded their operations, including serving 2 new destinations from their hub at Luton Airport. And like I say, we regularly see them over the top of us when we're on the Hilton Garden Inn, or over there at the Renaissance. But that's good to see and great to see from Wizz Air. So congratulations to those guys and all the staff who work obviously very hard in improving their services. So also now what we saw when we were in Frankfurt, if you remember, you would have been with us in Frankfurt last week. And we had a great time there. But what we did see, and what we didn't realise actually on the day, was that it was breaking news that Polish operators LOT have actually taken ownership of Condor Airlines. The official is LOT, Polish Airlines owner, Polish Aviation Group, has brought German carrier Condor. A lot of you guys may have been a little bit confused because they have the same livery on the tail as Thomas Cook, because they were owned by Thomas Cook. But fortunately enough, the German government jumped in and pumped a load of money into them, and as a result of Thomas Cook's collapse, Condor were given an extension by the German government, but great to see that LOT, Polish Airlines, have picked them up, which is great. And we of course saw that beautiful retrojet, the 767, out there in Frankfurt. Always great to see that as well, because it's quite rare to see it, because obviously she's making journeys all over flights all over the place. So that's always good to see. One thing that we have noticed is that Condor are changing the logo out, switching the logo out from the Thomas Cook logo, which you guys are used to seeing, to their original tail livery, which is the retro style Condor livery, and that's just fantastic to see. It looks real smart, and it actually works. I think, to be honest with you, from memory, the retrojet had that on there anyway, but all of the other aircraft, the 757s and so on and so forth, will all now sport the retro livery on their tails. So that's good to see. It looks really smart, sort of like an old school Lufthansa style logo, but great to see that, and congratulations to Condor and congratulations to LOT, of course. So expecting to see, I understand that they're also going to continue to run the Condor livery, keep it completely separate from LOT. So you'll continue to see that if you're a fan of going out to Frankfurt and seeing the Condor jets. Next on the list, a lot of you people have already seen this about All Nippon Airways. A lot of guys call it ANA. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm not a big fan of saying ANA. All Nippon Airways is sort of like the official wording, but for those of you guys who like to say ANA, then so be it. But it is Japan's largest carrier, and they have celebrated the unveiling of their third and final A380. This is the big orange flying Honu scheme. The third Airbus A380 due to be registered JA383 Alpha, sporting ANA's third special paint scheme, this time in a vibrant orange design that's inspired by the Hawaiian sunset. ANA is due to take delivery of this aircraft in April 2020. I'll be just making a mention of where we're going to be at the end of February. We'll be at Toulouse again. So there's a good chance she's come out of the Hamburg paint shop. With any luck, she'll go back to Toulouse to continue her flying program before she goes off for delivery. That may be the case. It may not. I don't know. So congratulations once again to All Nippon Airlines. Boeing in the news, obviously continually in the news, and of course they do have a new company chief executive, and he has made a little bit of a splash earlier on in the week, saying that the Boeing NMA is dead. Long live the NMA. And now this, whether that was actually his quote or not, NMA meaning new mid-sized aeroplane. And what he's talking about there, I believe, is the 797 aircraft. So a mid-sized aircraft to fit between, obviously, the 777 and the 737, and his and the news is with a change of leadership at Boeing, a new tone has set in with a conservative approach to the eventual 737 MAX ungrounding and a defence of the culture within the company. David Calhoun's first week as the chief executive of the company sounded promising for the company to get back on track. While only time will tell what kind of direction Boeing will take, one thing was clear from the new CEO's first teleconference with the press and a webcast with the manufacturer's workforce was that the Boeing NMA, as we know it, is dead. That's one thing he made quite clear. They will not be continuing on with that. Bit of a shame, to be honest with you. I personally think that they should have kept the 757 production line running, because a lot of the airlines, especially British Airways, were absolutely gutted when that production line went down, because it was a very, very good aircraft for that mid-market. So, on the other hand, of course, Boeing, great news for Boeing, and we all saw this, a lot of us saw it, was the 777X test flight, the first one out. Absolutely awesome. Those big engines doing exactly what they're supposed to do, the big GE9X General Electric engines. What was quite funny was a lot of people mentioned, and it was noticed, as soon as it lifted off, before it actually lifted off, the wheels actually left the ground before the aircraft actually took flight. It was a funny sort of like, a bit of a optical illusion, but not absolutely sure what the whole thing is about that, but we'll no doubt find out in the near future. But obviously she carried out extensive test flight and came back successfully later on as well. So that's great to see from Boeing. Good news for them. They needed it. They really did need it. There's a little email coming in from Russell out there at Gemini Jets. Russ, thanks, mate. He's going to be replacing my 747, which unfortunately went through a little bit of a crash, losing all its engines. We've decided to take delivery of the Negus 747s with flaps and slats down. Now, this is going to be a first. When I take delivery of that, he's sending that out fresh from Las Vegas right now as we speak. He'll be running his little legs down to the mailbox to post that Negus 747 with flaps and slats extended. So she'll be in that position. You could either have her coming into land on your stand, or you can actually have her down on the ground in sort of taxi format. But I'll show you that as soon as I get it. So thanks for that, Russ. Appreciate it. Air France. Just a little bit about Air France, whether anyone finds it interesting or not, I don't know. Extending its business class service to customers on its domestic network on departing flights from Paris, Charles de Gaulle, and Paris Orly, the other French cities, which will also be available on short-haul flights connecting the French regions to international destinations. Now business class customers with a connection on a long-haul flight, which basically means that if they're going out from Paris, and they're going to perhaps London Heathrow, for example, they will be given the option to travel business class at no extra cost from their original point of departure. So, you know, a nice little thing there for Air France and anybody who's on a connecting flight with those guys. Of course, there's a lot of airlines having that service where they work with other airlines as well, code sharing, as we're all aware, One World and so on and so forth, and that always works well. We're going to Chicago next month, folks, and we're flying with American Airlines, which is code sharing, of course, in the One World scheme with British Airways. More about that in a couple of minutes. Flybe news, Flybe/Virgin Connect. The troubled carrier Flybe is understood to be preparing to launch a new service between Heathrow and Dusseldorf as part of a route overhaul, which is quite interesting because it says an additional service between Newquay and Amsterdam is also in the pipeline, according to the Telegraph. But the airline announced last week it would swap its Newquay Heathrow service with Gatwick in March, so we're not quite sure exactly what's happening there. And the decision has prompted speculation over its motivations for opening up that slot at Heathrow. So we'll have to just keep tabs on that one. Interesting enough, just talking about the A380 program, Airbus have now confirmed the final A380 wing set is due to depart any day now out of Broughton, and that will signify officially the end of wing production of the 380 wing at Broughton. Something that they are not keen to make a big thing of, even though it's a historical moment. It's actually terrible, really, when you think about it, that the aircraft has died a death so very quickly in terms of its manufacturing. Of course, the aircraft continues to fly and be very successful, and we love the A380 on this show. Some people are not a big fan of it, but I myself am a big fan of the A380, just purely because of the look of the aircraft and because of the enormity of it. Everything is massive on that aircraft, and you've got to give Airbus credit for making the aircraft, just putting it down on paper and actually physically making it all that time ago as well, when the aircraft was just literally still attractive to an airline. The big 4-engined aircraft was still attractive at that stage, but it wasn't long after the aircraft went into its design phase and then into starting to manufacture it that the big twins started to come forward, and so of course Airbus fell down a little bit on that one. But it's saying now, after the A380, the final production of the A380 at Toulouse, by 2022, Airbus production line in Toulouse, France, will be converted to a digitally enabled Airbus A321neo final assembly line, and that basically is signifying the enormous demand that Airbus are having for their 321, but the NX and the extra long range 321 as well, which has, funnily enough, taken that mid-market position, standing in for the likes of the 767, the 757, perfectly. So fair play to Airbus for taking that on. And finally, just a little bit. I know a lot of people. I know my niece has got a couple of pugs. Dogs, that is, the dogs with a snubby nose and all that, which is never a big fan of them myself, but I still think they're cute because they're animals and we all love the animals. But interestingly enough, pet travel, Virgin Australia is the latest airline, I believe America is stepping up on this one, to ban flat-faced animals on their flights. The move comes after a spate of recent deaths of snub-nosed dogs on fellow Australian carrier Qantas, which resulted in the airline issuing a temporary ban while it reviews its policies. Great shame for them, it has to be said, but I can quite understand it. While we understand, and this is them saying it, while we understand that snub-nosed breeds are a popular choice of pet, they are a high-risk animal to transport due to their known respiratory issues and other health problems that may be compounded in flight, a Virgin Australia spokesman said. And they told the Daily Mail. Virgin Australia has made difficult... sorry, I won't carry on. Virgin Australia has made the difficult decision to no longer accept bookings for snub-nosed breeds until further notice. The Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals applauded the move to ban the breeds from flying, the Daily Mail has noted. So, yeah, bit of a shame if I believe they're upholding until the end of January anyone who's pre-booked. But, yeah, great shame, but it has to be said. You know, it's bad enough. It's sort of like, you know, quite terrifying for an animal to go in the hold of an aircraft. I know they're very well looked after, and I know that the conditions in there are good. You know, the climatic conditions in there, and they're not freezing cold, obviously. You know, there's conditioning down there, but just basically the fact that they are in that environment can obviously be a problem for the snub-nosed dog and cat breed. But there we go. So. Just quickly, coming up in February for members, Lisbon. 4th and 5th, we're going to be in Lisbon. That's going to be a great show. Again, we're going to bring you an afternoon and a morning show from Lisbon, so we get the two different dynamics of traffic there. We have booked Chicago up for the 13th to the 17th. That's going to be a good one as well. So members, make sure you get lots of sleep. Because I know a lot of you guys love to stay up and watch it. So if you can book a little bit of time off, maybe a couple of days, that will be fantastic. Always great to have the members with us on those long haul shows. And then, of course, on 26th and 27th of February, we're going to be in Toulouse. So hopefully we'll see that all Nippon La, I think her name is, La, the third one. So look out for that one. And that's about it. Tomorrow, where are we going to be? Well, because unfortunately, a lot of you guys might have been looking forward to the sim show that we had planned with the guys down at Motion Sim. Unfortunately, that's had to be postponed due to health issues. So we are now moving on to tomorrow. We're going to go to Heathrow for 2-7 right. We're going to do the switch over show. We're going to get the last sort of like 15-20 minutes of departures. Then we're going to go straight on to arrivals, right the way through to darkness. And of course now in the UK we're already up to sort of like 5 o'clock where we're still light. So we'll be able to take you right the way up till darkness at London Heathrow. So that's about it. I think I've covered everything. Yeah. Hope you enjoyed the, it was great to see all you guys yesterday with the Miniature Wonderland show as well. That was great. If you missed it, folks, you can watch it right now on both of our channels, Facebook and YouTube. See those amazing miniature models out there in Miniature Wonderland. The most incredible mini airport you will ever see. So that's it. Thanks a lot, folks. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon around about 2:30 in the afternoon. That's 2:30 tomorrow afternoon, live from London Heathrow. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll see you later, and be good to the animals. See ya. Cheers. Bye.